The post-it note was stuck to the fridge, her loopy handwriting unmistakable. I'm done, Daniel. Moving to Seattle with Ryan. Our savings are gone, LOL. I found it after a 12-hour shift at my auto repair shop in Boise, Idaho, the grease still under my nails. My wife of 15 years, Laura, had just obliterated our marriage with a yellow square of paper. My heart didn't race. My hands didn't shake. I just poured a coffee, sat at the kitchen table and whispered, "Enjoy." She thought she'd won, but she didn't know I'd been preparing for months. The signs had been there. Laura, 38, started working late at her marketing firm, yet her paychecks never reflected overtime. Her phone, once left carelessly on the counter, was now glued to her hand. Passcode changed. She'd bought new dresses, ones too flashy for Boise's laid-back vibe, and I'd overheard her giggling on calls she claimed were with clients. 6 months ago, I'd found a coffee receipt from a downtown cafe. 2 lattes, one with oat milk, her new obsession, dated for a morning she'd said she was at a team meeting. That's when I started digging. I'm Daniel, a mechanic who built Carter ES Auto from a single garage into a chain of 3 shops across Boise. I'm not flashy, but I'm steady, and I've always been good with numbers. Laura handled our personal finances, but I wasn't blind. When I noticed small withdrawals from our joint savings, $200 here, $500 there, I opened a separate account at a credit union. I funneled my shop profits there, leaving just enough in our joint account to avoid suspicion. I also hired a private investigator, a guy named Mike who confirmed Laura was seeing Ryan, her 30-year-old coworker with a man bun and a startup dream. I kept every email, every photo, every receipt Mike sent me. Her note didn't shock me, it just confirmed the timeline. I called my lawyer, Sarah, who I'd consulted after Mike's first report. She made her move, I said. File the papers. Sarah's voice was calm. They're ready. Want her served in Seattle? I smirked. Let her think she's free for now. Laura's next text came as I locked up my main shop. Dante, try to find me. Ryan and I are starting fresh. You'll get my lawyer's info. I didn't reply. Instead, I checked our joint credit card statement online. She debooked 2 one-way tickets to Seattle and a week at a boutique hotel in Pike Place. $3,000, charged yesterday. Perfect. I called the credit card company. This is Daniel Carter. I need to report unauthorized charges and remove my wife as a user. The agent, a woman named Karen, listened as I forwarded Laura's post-it note and texts admitting she'd drained our savings. These charges were made after she announced her intent to leave, I said. Karen's tone sharpened with satisfaction. We'll cancel those charges and remove her access, Mr. Carter. By morning, Laura and Ryan would arrive in Seattle to find their hotel reservation voided and their tickets flagged. The house was mine, bought with my inheritance from Dad, kept in my name despite Laura's hints to add hers. She'd called my shops greasy hobbies, never grasping that Carter's Auto grossed more than her salary. I spent that evening organizing my evidence, screenshots of her texts, Mike's photos of her and Ryan at a wine bar, bank records showing her withdrawals. My phone buzzed again. You'll regret fighting this, Dan. I deserve half the shops for putting up with you. I laughed. Half my business? She'd never set foot in a garage except to complain about oil stains. The next day, Laura's text turned frantic. What did you do to the card? The hotel kicked us out. Answer me. I silenced her number and focused on work. A customer, Mrs. Jenkins, noticed my calm. You seem chipper for a guy whose wife just left. I grinned, just keeping the engine running. By noon, Sarah called. She's been served at a budget motel in Seattle. Ryan's not thrilled. His credit card's maxed out. I pictured Laura, her designer bag stuffed into a dingy room. Ryan realizing his fresh start came with no cash. The emergency hearing a week later was a masterclass in preparation. Sarah presented my evidence. Laura's note, her texts, the PI's photos and bank records showing she'd siphoned $15,000 from our savings. Laura's lawyer tried to spin it. My client was emotionally neglected, forced to seek happiness elsewhere. Sarah didn't flinch. Emotionally neglected? Mr. Carter protected his assets when he suspected infidelity. That's not neglect, that's foresight. The judge, a no-nonsense woman in her 60s, wasn't impressed with Laura's story. "Mrs. Carter, you admitted to draining a joint account and using shared credit for personal travel. That's not a defense, that's theft." She froze all remaining joint assets and ordered Laura to repay the $15,000 within 30 days. Laura's face crumpled as reality hit. She'd thought she could waltz away with my money, my dignity, and half my business. Instead, she got nothing but her clothes and a leased car she couldn't afford. Ryan, I heard later, bailed when the hotel bill came due, leaving her to crash with a cousin in Tacoma. My shops thrived. Word of my story spread, and customers flocked to support the guy who outsmarted his ex. I hung Laura's Post-it note in my office next to a framed article about Carter's Auto expanding to a 4th location. Revenge. It's not about destruction, it's about driving forward while they stall in the rear view.